Hey, what's up good people? Today I got an amazing new board from ASRock, made for Intel's 12th gen CPUs, the all new Z690 Taichi. Hi guys, my name is Vlad and welcome to my channel, and let's see what this board has to offer. So as usual, I like to do the unboxing first to show you what's in the box and then move to the board and the features it has. The box is completely black, stealth looking, and on the front there is only the Taichi logo and the big Z690 branding, and on the back side we have a little bit more info about the board itself. Once you open the box, it's divided into two separate boxes. One holds the board and the other one holds all the accessories it comes with. And oh boy, there are plenty, like seriously plenty. There is the manual, of course, coffee mug coaster as usual, software setup guide, cool Taichi branded postcard, and there is an additional fan, most likely for the VRMs or similar. We will see later about this, and 4 SATA cables, 2 angled ones and 2 straight ones, Wi-Fi and Bluetooth antenna, the proper one, not just the 2 sticks sticking out of the back of the board, and look at this cute keychain. This is so great, I like when you get this stuff with the board, it makes it more special. There is also a USB 2.0 additional bracket with 2 ports. This will go on the back of the case. This is optional to use, of course, but again it's nice to have. Oh, and check this out. This is the Taichi branded keycap for your keyboard. This is awesome thing to have, and this is actually a PBT material. It's so cool. GPU sag bracket is also here, and this is so nice to have. It's basically hidden out of the sight and just keeps the GPU from sagging down. There is a bracket for that fan we unboxed first, and a bunch of NVMe screws and velcro ties to tidy your cables afterwards. The board looks amazing, the attention to tiny little details is amazing. Black stealth all over the place with a touch of gold accents and the Taichi cogs on the chipset and on the I/O shield, and these ones are also RGB lit. Obviously, being a Z690 chipset board, it supports LGA 1700 12th gen Intel CPUs, and it also has the latest DDR5 RAM support and PCIe Gen 5.0 support. Other features of this board are also exceptionally good, but let's check out the layout and what is where, and I'll explain everything it has. On the top of the board you can see that there are 2 8-pin EPS connectors for the CPU power. This is because this board has a whopping 20-phase SPS Dr. Moss power design. On the top side there are also 2 4-pin PWM fan headers and also 2 ARGB 5V LED headers. Finally, someone put 2 of these side by side and removed the 12V one. Thank you for doing that. On the right side of the board there are the following connectors: 24-pin PSU connector, USB 3.0 front USB, USB Type-C front connector, USB Type-A 3.0 connector, another USB 3.0 front connector, 6 SATA 3 connectors, and 2 4-pin PWM fan headers. And of course here are the DDR5 reinforced slot with maximum capacity support of up to 128GB and speeds of up to 64,000 MHz. It also supports the latest XMP 3.0 profile. Each memory slot is also reinforced and also has gold-plated contacts. On the bottom side, these little red squares are actually VIMA audio capacitors, and the board also has ESS Saber 918 DAC front audio connector is also here. Next to it is the 12V RGB fan header and yet another 5V ARGB one. 2 4-pin PWM fan headers are also present here. This would be the BIOS chip here, and next to it we have some proprietary connector, or maybe this is used for the Thunderbolt 4. Here is the USB 2.0 port header, and here you can connect that bracket that came in the box. Okay, this is unusual. We have another SATA 3 independent port. We have debug LED indicator, reset and power buttons, and also the BIOS reset button and front panel connectors. It also has 3 PCIe X16 slots, 2 of them being Gen 5, 1 being Gen 4, and the one on the bottom is a Gen 3x1 slot. It also has 3 NVMe slots, the upper 2 are Gen 4 and the bottom one is the Gen 3 one. And one more NVMe slot is reserved for the installed Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth adapter, which we will talk more about later. Moving to the I/O shield, BIOS flashback button on the top, and you can see that this button is marked with a little gold color on the side, as well as one of the USB ports also. Well, that port is the one used for the BIOS flashback feature. Moving further down, 2 antenna ports, one for the Wi-Fi and the other one is for the Bluetooth. And while we are on the subject, this board has Wi-Fi 6E adapter. It has killer AX1675, which also serves as Wi-Fi and Bluetooth adapter also. Moving further, we have HDMI 2.1 connector, two USB 3.2 Gen 2 ports, SPDIF digital audio connector, 7.1 channel audio thanks to the ALC 1220 codec onboard, which is also an isolated PCB. It has ESS Saber DAC and VIMA audio capacitors for front audio jacks. Moving further, we have two LAN ports. One is the E3100G Killer 2.5 gigabits and the other one is the Intel i219V, which is 1 gigabit connector. Moving further, we have four USB 3.2 Gen 1 Type A ports and two Type C USB 4.0 with Thunderbolt 4 support. Each one can carry 40 gigabits per second of data. So those were the connection options, but let's focus more on the VRM section now, because this VRM design is something new and in my opinion it's excessively overbuilt. I mean, it has plenty enough power to run two CPUs because it has 20 phase VRMs with 19 phases reserved for the vCore. The power flows through the 8-pin EPS connector down to the Renesas RAA22913 20-channel controller, then onto the 105 amps Renesas RAA220105540 smart power stage. MOSFETs got an amazing 1995 amps available for the processors. This is plenty of support for the power-hungry Intel Core i9-12900K at stock speeds and even more when it's overclocked. The VRMs on the Taichi do not get in the way of the processor, so mounting beefy coolers is not an issue. They are also actively cooled with one fan being here behind the heatsink on the I/O shield, and back of the board also hides a VRM shield, much like on the X570 Taichi Razer edition, which I reviewed last year, and it also hides the diffused LEDs on the edge of the board. Because without RGB this board would not be so powerful, and that's a fact. BIOS is a traditional ASRock design with all the options unlocked, so you can pretty much set everything in little details. As mentioned, it supports XMP 3.0 profile, so just load it and enjoy blazing fast DDR5 speeds. You can also set fan speed in the BIOS, and I always preferred everything done here, so I don't have any additional software later installed for this. Although this board comes with the traditional A-tune in which you can set fan curves, fan speeds, monitor various temperatures, overclock the CPU and so on. It also has an Ahimic audio support which adds awesome effects to your sound output, but it also adds those effects to your microphone input, so you can do some crazy things. It also has Killer Suite in which you can combine Wi-Fi and Ethernet into one connection, prioritize gaming traffic and so on. Of course, RGB can be controlled through the Polychrome app. At this point, I would like to thank Dario from PC Crazy channel for lending me his Intel i9-12900K and DDR5 RAM also, so I can properly test this board for you guys while I wait for mine to arrive. So thanks for being such a bro, Dario, and also guys, please check out his channel as well, as you can learn a lot from him. I will leave a link down in the description. The VRM temperatures maxed out at just above 55 degrees Celsius during stock testing and 58 degrees Celsius when overclocked. Since one of the VRM heatsinks is actively cooled, I expected to see a little bit lower temperatures, but we got what we got. And it's also actively cooled, as I mentioned, so the fan noise is not audible as you might think so this is not a big concern. Intel 12th Gen is a solid choice for gamers now, and in tests it matched AMD and in some it was even better. So Z690 Taichi keeps the signature Taichi design aesthetic we are all used to with just a few subtle updates. I wish that there was one more NVMe slot. Somehow this board needs 4 NVMe slots. I mean, one PCIe X16 slot could have been sacrificed so we can have this option. VRM on the other hand is upgraded with plenty of spare power. MOSFETs also saw an upgrade to 105 amps from the usual 90 amp design. The addition of the independent USB and SATA port on the board, which are not connected to the rest of the board, I mean not connected to the chipset, will benefit only the miners. Other than this, I would have liked to see more USB ports on the rear side. Having two USB 3.0 headers for the front is maybe more than enough, but moving two of them on the back might have been a better choice, but this is my opinion only. And Thunderbolt 4 on the other hand is an awesome feature to have. Of course, with great power comes great responsibility in terms of money here, because this board is not cheap. $590 at the time of the review on Amazon and on Newegg, and in Europe it costs up to 700 euros, which is much more than US price. But if you want nothing but the best, top tier features, then this board is a great choice. Thanks to ASRock for providing the review sample. Once again, huge thanks to Dario from PC Crazy for the CPU and memory so I could test this board, and as always, huge thanks to you guys for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you like the content, like and share the video, and I'll see you in the next one.